I'm Nicole PW and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
I'm with whatever, shawty. We smoking on pressure. I hope you know you precious, shawty. I'm doing the extra for you. You got hoes and I got hoes, but they don't know you like I know you. They don't know you. They don't know you.
So guys, today is the most revolutionary video that I've ever filmed. I'm putting you guys onto such a good free game, I considered not even making this video. If this gets into the wrong hands, it can be extremely dangerous. Now, if you know me from TikTok, you'll know that I have a talent for cussing people out. And you know what's so crazy? You behave the way that you behave, but your scalp is dry, crusted and dusted. Your scalp looks like it hasn't seen moisture in 40 days and 40 nights. You think you're all of that, but you're not. And one day, the Lord Jesus Christ will humble you enough that you know not to treat anyone like that again. You are always dry. Every inch of your body is dry, from your lips to the inner corners of your eyeballs and especially your toes. You're dry, boy. Your personality is dry, your face is dry, and that is why no one will stick around long enough to give you the time of day. You think you're doing everybody a favor by speaking to them? We pity you. We take pity on you. And remember that the next time you try and get feisty and the next time you try and chat to me any sort of way, dry boy. And don't think that I'm saying this out of a place of hate. I love you and I just want you to make enough money to buy some cream. God bless. I view cussing people out as an art. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I do believe that it's necessary. And if you're new to my channel, then you're probably thinking, what is going on here? I'm also thinking that. So I just want to put a little clarification before I start this video. I do not condone cussing people out for no reason. Take this information as you will. Please use it responsibly. And I really do say only use this if someone is coming at you. I don't attack people. I let people attack me and then I attack back. Do you know what I mean? Self-defense. Are you sick and tired of losing every single argument that you get into? Stuttering, not knowing what to say, and then afterwards you're like, oh my god, I should have said this, I should have done this, I should have put up the fact that they did this. This is how to cuss people 101 with Nicole PW. So I've got a list here, guys. The best thing to do, preparation, all of that. So I've got the list on my phone and we're going to go through them section by section. So first off, things that will benefit you in an argument. So things that, like, if you already have access to, you're going to find this so easy. Number one, being Jamaican. Being Jamaican, every Jamaican person that I know, especially women, can just cuss really good. I don't know why, it's in our genetics, but it is great and it is beneficial. Next, good vocabulary. Having good vocabulary and a wide range of vocabulary is always good in an argument. It will mean that your cusses are creative. People will be thinking, how did she even come up with that? Sometimes the things that I say are so poetic, I don't even know how I mustered that up in my brain. Next, a good imagination. I like to imagine the person as the thing that I'm cussing, and that means that I can describe them a lot better. Next, you want to be fast thinking. If you have a stutter and you are a stutterer, then try and take that in with your stride, because there's nothing that you can do to avoid that. Obviously, it's not your fault. And usually in an argument, people will try and use it against you. I know because I have done it. Preparation for the argument. Section 1. Preparation. You do not want to go into war unprepared. You wouldn't step into a battlefield unprepared. So why are you having an argument knowing you're going to have some sort of confrontation and not being mentally prepared? So I always say, never go unprepared when you know that you're going to cuss. Have things in your head that you want to say and make sure that you have all of your points down. Even if you start off the argument with things that you have written down in notes, to make sure you get to every point, do it anyway. Do you get what I mean? I always like to, if I'm addressing something that someone has done or things that people have done to me, I always write it down in notes just to make sure that I get every single point. Point number 2, expect the worst from your opponent. Expect them to say the most disgusting, vile, horrible, wicked things to you. Emotionally prepare yourself for that. People are disappointing. People are wicked. People are wicked. People are disappointing. So just expect the worst from them. If you mentally prepare yourself and say, this person's going to say this, they're going to bring up this, they're going to say that, then when they do actually say it, you're not going to feel a type of way. Know what you want out of the situation. I like to go low like a limbo, babe. I like to go low. How low can we go? But as I grew up, I realized that you don't always have to go low, and you don't always have to meet them in the pits of hell. I like to take the higher ground when I feel like the other person is taking it too far, and 9 times out of 10 that gets me an apology because I stopped, you carried on, and you took it to that point. When you're arguing with someone, you have to realize what you want from the situation. Do you want to tell them about themselves to the point they have to crawl up in a ball and think about the things that you said for the rest of their lives? Do you want an apology? Do you want to be friends afterwards? Do you want a resolution? What do you want from the situation? Because what you say to them is going to reflect on what you want from the situation and what you want from the person. Next thing, don't raise your voice unless absolutely necessary. You want to be cool, calm, and composed. Try to lack as much emotion as you can. You don't want to get all emotional, all cryy, screamy, stuttering, because that really just, you'll lose the argument straight away. If you start acting off of just straight emotion, you will lose the argument because what you're saying will 9 times out of 10 not make sense. You might even box them into their face, right? That is not what we want. Cool, calm, composed, be cool like a cucumber, babe. This is one thing that I like to do to prepare. Analyze the person. The person that you're cussing, analyze them. That is why when I'm arguing with people on the internet, I usually just say your mum, your mum, your mum, your dad, because that is just so easy to say. I don't know anything about you, but everyone has had a parent. Everyone has come out of some sort of cooch. You get what I mean? So that's just an easy point to get at someone, even if you don't know them from nowhere. And nobody knows this, but when I'm arguing with people that I know in real life, or if I've fallen out with a friend, I've never ever told anyone that I know in real life to suck their mum or anything about their parents, because that's just a line that I personally don't cross. If you want to cross it, then I'll tell you how to cross that too. But a good thing to do is analyze their personality, come up with flaws, right, that you find in their personality, and notice patterns in their relationships with people. This will be very good to understand how the argument is going to go, and it is also a good thing to use against them in the argument. Once again, I just want to clarify that I don't like arguing when necessary, and only do this if the person does it to you first. You never ever want to be the antagonist in the situation, because that's just not a good look, and you're probably in the wrong if you have to do this. This is only if you know that you're in the right, babe. If you 100% know that you're in the right. If you're in the wrong, sometimes you do just have to hold your hands up and say, I'm sorry. I do that a lot, but when I know that I'm right, bitch, I'm right. The fuck? What are you talking about? Anyway, an example of using people's relationships and stuff against them, I'm going to give you an example.
Oh my god, you're too hot girl fat, but I was too fat.
Yeah, but this is why no one can stand to be around you. This is why you can't keep a friend for more than 2 months. No one can stand to be around you because you're a nasty, wicked, horrible person. Didn't your mum leave? Didn't your mum divorce your dad and left and never came back for you or your siblings? Why do you think that is? You're unlovable. The way that you treat people is disgusting. No one wants to be around you. I don't want to be around you. I'm the one friend that you had, the one person who actually cared about you, and now I'm having to tell you about your underneath.
My underneath, no, please.
That is a good example. Obviously, that is very deep, and that is very right? I wouldn't do that to someone that I wanted to speak to after. That's a one and done sort of conversation. Because what can you really say after that? Nothing can be said. Okay, so let's get into how to argue with them, right? This is my favorite thing about an argument, how to argue and how to start off an argument. Personally, if I'm going to someone, so say I'm like, okay, let's talk.
talk about what has...
Yes, we do have stuff to talk about. You clearly have a problem with me, so you address it first.
Well, my problem with you is that your ass is too fat. Okay. You're too amazing. You smell good.
Notice I let them go first. That is so when they're coming at me and they're saying all these things, 1, it gives me time to prepare what I'm going to say. 2, it gives me a gist of how far we're going at the minute. And 3, you want to be using their words against them. Example.
You left me on the side of the road with your big fat body.
So how comes you've never told me this before? How comes you're only just coming up with it now? So I do one thing and all of a sudden you have an issue with this and this and this. You're a fake girl. You're very fake. Yes, you are fake. You're saying you didn't like the fact that I crossed the road without you. Why didn't you address it at the time? Because you've been talking about me. You're a fake girl. Why can't you address issues with me? The fact that I've come here and I'm addressing something with you, I have enough grace to address you as a friend. We're meant to be friends. You're just having a build-up of things. You've clearly been talking about me. What's your issue? You've clearly discussed this. You've clearly discussed it. Or you're just holding things down. We're meant to be friends. Why can't you address things to me, to my face straight away? That's a perfect way to do it. Feeding off of what that person has said will progress what you can say, and you can build up what you're going to say off of what they say. Amazing. The next thing that I like to do is I like to list out a bunch of things at once. So you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And what you want to do when you're doing this, right? When you're listing out a bunch of things, it could be about them, things that they've done, anything, whatever you want to get off your chest. Notice and gauge their reaction to each thing that you say. Let me give you an example. Your front stinks, you're too nasty, you're messy, you disrespect me, you disrespect my space, you disrespect the things that I give you, no one messes with you. Pause.
I don't smell though. I literally smell like Femme Fresh. Everyone tells me I smell like Femme Fresh. So
if that person has one big reaction to one of the things that you said, what you want to do is hone in and go ham. So you've listed out a bunch of things. The person has only responded to one thing. They're like, I'm not this, I'm not that. Oh, so that one got underneath your skin. Once you've established what's gotten underneath their skin, hone in on it. Go ham. That is where you want the point to focus in. And what's crazy is this doesn't even have to be the most important thing to you. This could be the least important thing to you, but it could be the most important thing to them. If you really want to win that argument, you want to hit them where it hurts. If they've reacted to that point that you've made, out of all the other points you've made, it's clearly the one that bothers them the most. And that is where you go attack mode, right? Example. But you do smell though. You smell foul. You smell disgusting. You are literally repulsive. The stench that comes out when you lift your arm up has my eyes watering. It's gross. Enough is enough. Take a shower, take a bath, get some deodorant because it's done now. No, I don't care about the other stuff I'm saying because you're trying to deny the fact that you stink. Your underneath smells like fish. I thought you were a fishmonger. Your underneath smells like Lewisham Market, mate. Why does it smell like Lewisham Market? I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're dealing with. The fact that you feel like you can come here and chat to my face when you smell as repulsive as you do is absolutely insane. And seen. So this is where I like to have a little bit of fun with what I'm doing. Get creative with it. Use synonyms. So when you're describing something, use every single word that you can think of to describe it. So let's say the person is wicked. You're wicked. You're nasty. You're a crosses. Your heart is black. Your soul is black. You're like just any word that you can use to describe them. Let's say you're calling them a J-bag. You're a J-bag, skank, slag, slut, whore. You are the Jezebel spirit personified. You want to use a whole range of words when you're coming at that person. And that is because when you're going ham and you're coming in, you don't want to just be repeating the same words. Get creative with it. Get justy with it. Do you get what I mean? Next, I personally believe that cussing people's appearance is so juvenile. I believe that, you know, there's so many other things, especially if you're having like a valid argument with someone about what they've done. Coming for someone's looks is never where I go straight away. I just feel like it's really low. It's really grimy. But don't get me wrong. If someone goes there, I will meet them there. Personally. So when you are cussing, And I feel like when you cuss someone's looks, it completely draws away from the argument. It makes all your points invalid because it's like, cool, you want to focus on the problem at hand. You don't want to just be saying stuff to say it unless they take it there. So only cuss someone's looks when they go for you first. And when you are cussing someone's looks, I like to compare them to the most crazy niche things that you wouldn't even think of. I like to compare them to crazy niche things that you wouldn't even think of. Avoid talking about weight. Body shaming is not cute in 2024. Don't ever talk about colour or the texture of their hair. That's just really pathetic and it's just not going to bang, personally. Colorism doesn't bang. Body shaming doesn't really bang unless they take it there first. So I like to think of the most repulsive, disgusting things. So I really like using characters. Monsters Inc. Characters from Monsters Inc. is a good one. You want to use a character that, you know, they might have to look up and they're sitting there and they're thinking about it and they're like, oh damn, like that was deep. So I like to use Sully from Monsters Inc. I also like to use the Gruffalo. But also compare them to just gross things. You can tell them, you know, you are athlete's foot personified. You are a big, nasty, boiled over bunion. I also like to use alliteration to exaggerate the point. Say that you're cussing their behaviour. Be like, your attitude is stinky. Your attitude smells, your attitude is just as bad as the way that you smell. Your manners is like your face. Comparisons really go hand in hand. If you can do a double whammy, so attack the looks and the personality at the same time, extra points. You get what I mean? You want to be, and also while you're cussing them, remember to remain composed. When people take it to the point where you're cussing the way that the person looks, you want to be making jokes out of them. This is where you're really going to rile them up and get underneath their skin. So while you're cussing them, be laughing and cackling so much to the point it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing them. I personally have a laugh that I've been told is a violation. So when I'm cussing someone, 9 times out of 10, I'm making myself cackle. Let me use this as an example. You literally look like a bunion though. You look like a nasty bunion. But why do you look like a bunion? Why do you look like a bunion? Why do you stink? Why do you stink? Why does nobody love you though? Why does nobody love you? You want to talk about the way that I look? Why don't you look in the mirror? Why don't you look in the mirror? Because it's a hard watch. Everything about you is a hard watch. Why do you think you can't keep a man? Why do you think every man you've been with has left you for dead? Because you're hard to look at, babe. You're hard to look at. You're a chop and a dash for a reason. Do you get what I mean? I also like to use questions. Ask them, why do you look like that? Why do you smell like that? Why do you behave the way that you do? Why does your mum not love you? I once again want to clarify, only take it there when they take it there first, guys. I don't just be doing this, right? I don't just be doing this. The next thing to do when you're cussing someone's looks is to think outside of the box. So you want to think of things that they probably weren't even insecure about in the first place. Maybe their posture, their feet, weird slope of their fingernails. Get creative with it. Do you get what I mean? If they've got acne, don't just cuss their acne. If they've got like bulging eyes, don't just cuss their bulging eyes. Or compare them to something. What you want to do, with a pinch of salt, if they've come at you and they've cussed something that you're insecure about, create a new insecurity for them. Right? Don't just go for below the belt. Just don't go for the standard. Create a new insecurity for them. Right? The way that they stand. Why are you knock-kneed? Why are you waddling like a penguin? Why do you walk like Rolly? Stuff like that. Do you get what I mean? Those are things that they probably weren't even thinking about and didn't even think were a problem. But that is something that will stick with them for years and they'll know to leave you alone. And once again, I want to say, if you guys have gotten to the point where you're cussing each other's appearance, you shouldn't talk anymore. You should not talk anymore. I've never had an argument with a friend or boy that I'm talking to or a family member where I've actually cussed their appearance. I don't ever cuss anyone's appearance. Only if they've started it with me. I don't really like doing it. I just think there's better things to cuss. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole appearance thing. But I know that's how some people like to dance. So you have to dance back with them. Don't have them dancing by themselves. Go and join them. Do you get what I mean? So this is the final part of the video. using things against them. Now, I just want to clarify, this is the lowest of the lowest, most pathetic way to argue. Yeah, this is not an admirable way to argue. This is not something that someone can say to you, you ate them right up, because it's cruel. It's cruel and it's nasty. And this isn't the point of an argument where I actually stop. When I was younger, it was like I have to win an argument by all means necessary. But as I've gotten older and more mature, I've realised how nasty and hurtful it is to use like personal deep things against someone. And people do it to me quite a lot because I'm an open book, so people use things that I tell them against me and I don't rise to it personally. If you told me a family situation and you throw my family situation back in my face, I'm not going to throw yours back in your face. That's just me personally, and that's when I will stop the argument. That doesn't mean that person's won, because you've had to get to that point just to win the argument. I didn't have to do that, and I will walk away from that and never speak to you again. But I know some people like to argue like that, some people like to fight dirty, and I know how to do it. So let me put you guys on. Once again, only use this if they started with you first, because there's no winning the argument after this. Like, when you argue for so long that both parties are hurt, there's no winning. But if you want to take it here, I'll tell you how to take it here. This will end your relationship, and if it doesn't end the relationship, it will make it so that it's never ever the same again. If that's your aim, and if that's your point, and if that's where you want to get to, then I'll tell you how to do it. Stay focused and recall from memory what they've said to you. I like to try and do this word for word. I've got a really good memory, so I like to try and do this word for word. Analyze what they've told you. So this sounds so bad, but let's say they've opened up to you and they've said, you know, this has happened, you've gotten cheated on, they've gotten cheated on, things are hard. Like, if they've come at you now and said, oh, but that's why your dad left your mum, just be like, okay, but why did your man leave you? And try, even though this situation might not be their fault, flip it on them and make it seem like it is their fault. Do you guys get what I mean? So let's say their man left them. Let's say their man left them. That is just the easiest thing to use. Oh, this is just so horrible. I don't like doing this, but no, I'm doing it for you guys. If they've said their man left them, tell them it's their fault. A man leaving a woman 9 times out of 10 is not her fault. If he's cheated, that's on the man. But flip it so it's her fault. If they've told you about that, analyze the situation and analyze the resolution that they've come to, the self-resolution and the peace that they found within the situation, and flip it. Can't lie. This is wicked, wicked work, but flip it. So they're doubting that whole situation. They're thinking, damn, is this really what people think of me? I've had people do that to me and it works. It actually does work, because I'm sitting there thinking, damn, maybe they actually ate that up. But it's never true. You want to gaslight a gaslighter. Only gaslight people who gaslight you. Your feelings and your emotions are valid, right? And don't let anyone try and make you feel like it's otherwise. I personally don't like gaslighting unless completely necessary, because it's just, manipulation is 9 times out of 10 just not really needed, because I won't be bugging out for no reason. I'm not just causing an argument for no reason. But if someone is doing it to you, you need to notice the signs of gaslighting. 1, they are just picking apart everything that you're saying word for word for word. They are trying to rewrite history. They are trying to tell you how to feel, and they're trying to invalidate your feelings. Do it back. Example.
You have no right to feel like that. That's not even how it went.
No, but that's not how it went. That's not how it went. And you always do this. You always lie. You always lie. And you're not going to try gaslight me. Do you think you can gaslight a gaslighter? You can't gaslight a gaslighter. That's not, and I like to hone in and make them feel bad. If you're arguing with a narcissist, it's going to be a little harder to make them feel bad, but get it to a point where they can't show any empathy. They cannot not show empathy. This is when you start trauma dumping. This is deep, but start trauma dumping and making them feel bad for doing what they did to you in the first place. Start telling them, you know this has happened to me. You know I'm going through this. You know this, you know that. What does that say about you? You don't care about me. You don't care about me if you're coming at me when you know everything that I've been through and everything that I'm going through. This does work 9 times out of 10. And 9 times out of 10, it is kind of true. Sometimes you do need a little trauma dump in an argument. So the final way to win an argument, if you guys have gotten so deep to the level that you're throwing each other's trauma in each other's face, laugh at their trauma. I swear to God, this one will done the argument better. Laugh at it. and just, I don't care, laugh at it. That's so funny. Oh what? Oh what? Your mum dropped down the stairs. Auntie should have watched where she's going. Auntie should have watched where she's going. Maybe you shouldn't have had stairs in your house. Maybe you guys should move into a bungalow. Do you get what I mean? That is really just deep of the deep. I personally have never done that in an argument, but you can if you want to. If that's what you guys want to do, that's what you can do. A lot of these, I feel like, are not necessary 9 times out of 10. And remember, if you have to argue with someone and have to get to this point, it's probably not worth it. But the best way to end an argument is, and realize, guys, make sure that if you guys are arguing and the stuff that you're saying, because 9 times out of 10, an argument won't even get to this point because someone will hit someone first. 9 times out of 10, if an argument is going to get to this point, someone is going to get banged in the face, right? Just make sure you are not hitting first. Also, sometimes, I would say be able to back your chat if you're going to do this. If you're going to get as deep as I'm saying to get as deep here, make sure that you do this. So in summary, these are the highlights of what you need to do going into an argument. Just to summarize everything up. First of all, you want to establish what you want from the situation. Top to bottom. What you want as a resolution and how far you're going to get. You want to predict the worst of the worst. And you want to predict the things that the person is going to use against you and what they could possibly say to you. You want them to start the argument with you, or you want to let them address their point first. You want to work off of what they're saying, and you always want to match someone's energy, right? If you want to go to the stoops of the stoops, then go to stoops of the stoops. Sometimes it is necessary. Next, you want to laugh and you want to remain a cool cucumber, very unbothered, very just nonchalant. You don't want to be doing the mad thing. Use a lot of adjectives, have a wide range of vocabulary. I do recommend reading, as it will help extend your vocabulary and have a wider variety to say in terms of cussing and to get more creative with it. Next, if you want to take it to the point of looks, make sure that you're laughing at them, make sure that you're giggling, and if there's other people around, say things that you know that other people are going to find funny so they can't help but laugh at the person and embarrass them for acting as stupid as they are acting. And ultimately, you want to heal. If you have to get this deep in an argument, you're going to want to heal afterwards. And I do say that having arguments like this on a regular, maybe you are the problem. I don't actually argue with people often. I can't remember the last time I had an... Oh, no, I did have one last month. But before that, I hadn't argued with someone in a very long time. Please take what you want from this conversation. Hope you guys are not looking at me and thinking that I'm a cruel, evil, wicked woman, verbally and physically defend myself. But yeah, that's all for today. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want to see. And yeah, I will see you guys soon.
You got hoes and I got hoes, but they don't know it. Like